Seattle historian Murray Morgan once wrote, "At the foot of the hills between the office buildings and the bay lies a narrow strip of land. Here, on the waterfront, Seattle's history and Seattle's future meet and merge." A man was found here in late December 1854, along a stretch of waterfront called Babaquab, Little Prairie in Coast Salish, now called Belltown. The man was Edward Moore, a 32-year-old sailor from Worcester County, Massachusetts. Built on Duwamish land, Seattle was barely a town, having been founded in King County, Washington Territory, only 2 years before. It consisted of Yesler's Sawmill, a Methodist Episcopal church, Madame Damnable's brothel, and a handful of homes, including that of Seattle's first physician, Doc Maynard. Seattle's first teacher and minister's wife, Catherine Blaine, in letters to her parents, described many single, impoverished, rootless white men who sometimes literally washed up on the town's shores. More than a few of these men she labeled as insane and linked their insanity with their disconnection from families and having lived through traumas like wars and shipwrecks. In a letter dated March 15, 1855, Catherine wrote of Edward Moore, "Our community, though small, gives an opportunity for the exercise of benevolent feelings. The county has had to take care of a poor, sick, crazy, half-frozen man for 2 to 3 months past." Edward Moore had been living in a makeshift tent on the Seattle beach, living off raw shellfish. Seattle's townspeople carried him to the town's one-rooming house where Doc Maynard amputated his frozen toes with an axe. Moore survived this primitive surgery and was cared for by Doc Maynard and his wife Catherine. Edward Moore was deemed by Doc Maynard to be crippled, insane, and a stranger besides. Stranger meaning Moore had no friends or relatives in the area. He was not a Seattle resident. The understanding and care of people with mental illness had been undergoing significant change with the work of reformers like the French physician Philippe Pinel and the New England reformer and nurse Dorothea Dix. Instead of viewing insanity as a consequence of sin, chaining people in jails, humane care in rural, idyllic settings came to be the standard of care. No such place existed in Washington Territory at the time when Edward Moore lived in Seattle. The newly enacted poor laws of the territory stipulated that counties were responsible for the care of people made poor due to ill health, including insanity. In essence, Edward Moore became Seattle's first homeless person. King County auctioned off the care of Edward Moore to the lowest bidder, a then common practice known as a trade in lunacy, a practice rife with abuse and one which Dorothea Dix denounced. In the summer of 1856, King County commissioners failed to auction off the care of Edward Moore. They had unsuccessfully petitioned the Washington Territorial Legislature for reimbursement of $1,659 for his care. Townsfolk took up a collection, bought Moore a new suit of clothes, and paid a ship's captain to take him back to his home state of Massachusetts. At this point, Moore disappears from the official histories of Seattle. His story did not end here. He returned to Worcester County, where it seems he was taken in by his sister's family in Ashburnham, a mill town on the headwaters of the Merrimack River. He turns up in official county records on May 12, 1859. Edward Moore, age 36, son of Pitt Moore, married, no occupation, died in Ashburnham, cause of death, suicide by hanging, cause insanity. We know that poverty, homelessness, and trauma contribute to worsening mental health. Currently, Washington State has one of our nation's highest rates of mental illness and one of our worst mental health treatment systems. Western State Hospital, our first public mental health hospital, which opened 15 years after Edward Moore left Seattle, recently lost federal funding due to its poor quality of care. At the same time, in November of 2020, King County voters approved Proposition 1, Health for All, a bond measure that will expand behavioral services at Harborview Medical Center, a commitment to addressing our ongoing homelessness and mental health crises.